Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Superhero Primetime, your bi-weekly show for all of the superhero news, television shows, episodes, discussions. There's not a lot of news, though.
Super things.
So many things are happening all over the place. As always, I'm your host, Blake Schultz. With me today is Terrence Tatum.
Hello, everyone.
And April Walleen.
Yo.
And we are talking about the mid-season finale for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which happened.
Yes.
And it could have been a real finale.
It was very well done.
Yeah.
It kind of was a real finale, though, because it closed up almost all of the arcs that they're doing.
Correct.
Yeah, the whole Eli thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's all.
Like the Ghost Rider thing is
wrapped
pretty
up.
much wrapped up.
Hopefully not forever.
I hope
'cause
not. I'd like to
Better not
see
be
Robbie
forever.
back at some point in time.
He better show up in the next.
Well, it's weird because
episode.
the producers have said that they basically have segmented this season off into 3 parts. So this was the end of the first one. The LMDs is going to be the second, and then whatever the hell they do for the third
Ghost
one.
Rider back.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll probably try to peek into the Inhuman, like more Inhuman stuff, since that's where that
Yeah.
that movie is coming from.
Yeah.
Because we have to make that
A
TV
series,
show.
right?
Right? But yeah, it was good. So they wrapped up everything.
Yeah,
They put a nice little bow,
they did.
and then
And then
they
Ada.
Then they took the bow and burned it.
right. They got rid
Yeah.
of all of that, and they showed you that everything you know is a lie.
Yeah.
at least they mentioned the Ultron thing, because like
I was very happy.
like,
Yes.
I don't want Ada to be Ultron though. I don't want her to be a bad. Like, I mean, we don't necessarily know that something weird could be happening. There could be all sorts of
Because she
strangeness.
read the book, maybe something is happening
Right.
with her
Yeah.
consciousness. Like it's weird, but I'm excited because it gives them another different villain to go off of besides
Yeah.
Ward, and it's not.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with magic now. We're dealing with something a little bit more tangible that they can
Well,
play
we
with.
don't even really know what we're dealing with yet, right?
True.
Like Ada made a mistake
Yeah.
by killing someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe she didn't, but that neck snapping is definitely
It's a little intense.
that's a
Yeah,
little intense.
it
That's
is.
that's stretching it to think that maybe she didn't,
Right.
but she did.
And then we discover May is an LMD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going with
So
the future.
We don't know if these are bad people yet. Though.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
I think we're about to really enter like a moral gray area
Yeah.
Right.
where the good doctor really does think he's doing good work.
I don't know that he necessarily knows what all's going on. He seems like he understands where it could go, but I think he's got like a little bit of a blind spot to it because he's so excited about Ada.
Yeah.
Right.
That I think he probably chooses to ignore the signs.
Yeah.
So
I also kind of want him to go legit. Like he keeps almost being legit, and then it is hiding an agent.
Right.
And
I don't
so
know if he knows she's there.
That's my next
Yeah.
question.
So I'm not sure if he's aware.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I
you
think
think-
Ada's going off on her own
She's
like
going rogue.
thing right
Another
now.
decoy?
Yeah.
Which would be because you saw her doing the
she's
whole.
doing all the stuff.
She's like when she was building in the last episode, she's
brain.
basically building a brain.
That's
So that brain is
right.
probably what she put into
Yeah.
into the May.
That's right.
Yeah, because I think she's operating on her own, independent of the doctor. I don't think he really
Yeah.
knows what's up. I think he might be starting to get a clue.
Right, and it's going to be interesting
So-
now that basically they're housing all of his stuff now on the ship per director's order. So it's going to be weird to have Ada and basically two LMDs on the ship.
And I think if anybody catches the whole May thing, I think it's going to be him first because I think he's going to see the tropes and the little ticks and stuff that aren't quite right first.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So that's what I would think anyway. But
I was really impressed because we talked a lot about how this season has had a lot of moving parts.
yeah.
And they kind of just neatly finished it.
Been doing so well.
Like they just neatly were like, and that one's done, that one's done, that one's done, that one's done.
Yeah.
We're good.
It's
Like
a really well orchestrated
It was.
season. Like
It is, yeah.
I'm impressed.
we're
I'm
like
really
halfway
impressed.
Through.
Yeah,
of
there's
fun stuff.
more.
You got Mac and Yo-Yo.
That
Yeah.
was one of the cutest things because them kind of
Yeah.
like making out in the hallway.
I
and
was
then-
a little
and-
sick of them with the back and forth thing.
It was,
for a
but
little
Well, I
then-
bit.
like that she called him out on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then
what
him
are
just-
we doing, you big idiot?
him just
Yeah.
kissing her, and then Quake and Coulson kind of walk by in the hallway and kind of like,
Yeah, I want to see how that
About
develops.
time.
yeah,
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 it was about time because those two were just
Yeah.
knock boots already.
right.
Well,
Oh.
Well, he had the whole, like, kick to his head with the Ghost Rider thing. He's just
Yeah.
like,
It's like I probably should start moving them on my life and stop
Yeah.
Now
hesitating
that
to
there's
do
been a
things.
demon inside of me, I'd like to get one inside of you.
Life is kind of short. Wow, did you just refer to babies as demons? All right.
I don't know if it was a baby.
That's fair.
There's a step before that.
All right.
Also, maybe.
Yeah.
If any one of us had a baby like tomorrow, it would be a problem.
Yes.
For any one of us in this, but we all have our lives pretty well together. Not that together.
Yes.
He
We
said
are.
to the two married people in the room.
I like how you keep pointing that out. Sorry, okay? We're sorry.
There was the other show. These are new watchers. There's a whole shared universe that is our podcast.
Somebody could have watched that one and then come over here. You don't
That's
know.
true.
You hope.
That's the plan.
I hope somebody likes this enough to watch all
Hollywood
the
already
stuff we
did it. Go
do.
listen to it on iTunes. Leave us a review.
Yeah, now you'll see what I'm talking about.
Buy our books and watch our products. They might have
Consumerism.
children on the way to support it.
God.
Yes.
I like that neither of you denied it, though.
No.
There's
no.
no kids in my future.
No.
Immediate future, anyway.
Definitely in the... Okay, anyways. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
Mac
so
and
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Neo.
Yes.
Now they're there
babies.
down that same road. It's going to be fun to see where that goes because we've seen Mac care a lot about her and put a lot of things in front of her and really hold her back. So now that they're in a relationship, that'll be deeper.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if that means Mac opens up and lets her kind of be an agent, or does he
Right.
get
Is he get worse?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like they've set it up that she's now a part of their main team, but does that mean Mac's a little bit more like she can't go out in the field, like she can never be in danger ever because
I really hope not because he was doing that before, and I
get so
really
tired
don't
of
want
those
to.
arcs.
I know.
Yeah.
And it just kind of kept happening. He's like, no, she's not. She's like, damn it, I am fine. Go away. And I'm like, yeah, go away, dude. She's got this. It's fine.
And I really want to see more of her like home and family life that we touched on. Like we
Yeah.
saw her at
Yeah.
the party, and they were like, "You're a freak."
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the issue
And-
she was having with her best friend.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. They get sort of get into the same themes Supergirl's been getting into.
yeah.
Right.
And I think that would be really interesting to watch
Yeah.
that evolve because it is a diverse cast, and you are going to start getting L&Ds and Inhumans, and
Yeah.
you've dealt with aliens.
And how they all deal with each other.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, their home lives and everything. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Because
Good.
she's also getting a little spin-off
She is.
to bridge the gap.
Slingshot.
Cool.
Slingshot.
So now that's the miniseries that you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be like
think? So that's
7 or
gonna-
8 episodes.
That's 7 or 8
But
episodes.
it's
Is a
but it's
miniseries?
7 episodes, but they're like six to 8 minutes long. So it's not
Oh.
like they're not like 30-minute episodes, but it's all
I was
being
gonna say, I was
all
like,
being done
dang,
on
that's long.
ABC.com or the ABC app, which is a lot better to use than the CW app.
Just put it all on Hulu. We've had this conversation.
Hulu's fine. It works.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, I want to put something up, and I want to make sure that everyone sees it. So I'm going to put it over there.
Where no one
I
has.
noticed that you have a full audience of people here. What if instead I built a new house over there?
I like your terrible, seedy executive
Yes.
voice.
He's also kind of dumb.
He sounds kind of Guido-y, but
Yeah, he
like-
was. He was.
Perhaps instead of the YouTube or the Hulu, of which all of the people... I've noticed that our demographic has declined. Perhaps we can increase that by forcing them to do something new and different.
I'm gonna make an offer that you can't refuse.
Look, I've got a plan. You like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Do you know how to use the internet? Type ABC. They're the first letters. Boom, you're
Gotcha.
You're there.
Watch
Now you're
that
getting
girl.
into like car salesmen.
I know. They're the same, basically. Same idea.
Corporate executive, car salesman, whatevs.
Right? I
Yeah.
also liked that he was stealing energy from other dimensions
Yeah.
and destroying ours.
Yeah.
I would like to see if that ends up, like, if they would go into that a little bit more and see, like, because they're like, oh, you're stealing this energy
yeah.
from somewhere, but where is it coming from? How is it affecting that dimension? And is anybody in that dimension noticing?
Right.
That's what I was going to say. I hope
So-
there's a dimension where people are, like, podcasting and someone's like, I need a mic, and there's just boops out of existence.
Wait a second.
I
Something's
found
weird
all of this
happening.
Oil. All of the oil went away.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, because that would bring in some very interesting characters from, and that would possibly bring over like Doctor Strange type stuff when you get into the interdimension things.
Well, I think that's where they were going, because even Ada, when she started, she did the same like thing that they did.
What kind of character do you think would come over? Like if you had to guess,
Dormammu, he's stealing from Dormammu.
it's maybe a little too on the nose.
Who's taking my carbon?
But if you could have like a character that was like a defender of a different realm that was gonna come over and be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?"
Hyperion.
Okay.
They could probably get away with putting like Brother Voodoo too on TV as opposed to using him, unless they're planning to use him on Strange too. But I feel like that's another character that could also be a dimension holder.
If I remember right, in the books, Hyperion is from another world.
Okay.
And his like gets destroyed, and he gets come over here, and then in the first Marvel now, because they've rebranded that again.
Right.
I think that was Hickman's Avengers run. They were like, we need to put together a team, and they just literally ripped him out of another world. And were like, you're our Superman.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Because that was back from that era when Marvel was like, let's make fun of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had one character that was just straight up Superman, but people were like, we like that guy. And they were like, crap. This has backfired.
It was a joke.
Didn't work at all.
It was a
We were
joke.
making fun of how stupid that character is, but fine.
We also got in this show, Quake is now officially back in the fold, which is good because I'm kind of glad that
I'm
she's
glad
no
that they
longer...
fixed her arm thing too, because
that was
that
getting
was
old,
going on
too.
for a while. I'm like, dude, you just wouldn't have any arms at this point,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean,
Right,
I
as
get
much
the
as she's
bone
using,
growth
like,
stuff, but come on.
Right.
So it's good that the whole team is kind of back together. Well, the remaining team members are back together. Well,
Yeah, I liked how the main guy was just like, okay, we're gonna make this work to our advantage, and you're
just
gonna be
whisper in
part.
there,
She
just
was
go
part of
with
the
it.
team the whole time, and she's like, But seriously though, just leaping. Where the hell did she think she was gonna go?
right.
I feel like
She's like, I gotta go, and then she just
lands.
lands.
I think she
in the
just
middle.
needed air, and then she just kind of went all the way up in the air. But I don't like landing back where she landed.
Yeah,
I think it was getting away from the quakes.
Yeah,
That the absorption was too much, and if she's as far away from the planet as she can be,
because she's
it's
now
not hitting her.
it's the first time she's starting to feel she's feeling
She's
quakes.
absorbing.
Right.
She just
Yeah.
lands in the middle of a freaking like
None
media
of that was very
fiasco.
well
I'm like,
thought out.
Yeah, it was a weird setup.
I'm like, you idiot.
That was a bad idea. What if you didn't catch yourself?
Right.
But yeah.
Remember in Iron Man 1 when he was like, this is a problem? That was how he beat the villain. It was a problematic thing to do.
Yeah, it was cool to see the directors suit up.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah.
He was wearing a Captain America suit.
He was.
It had a star on it.
I was digging it.
Yeah.
I was into it. I hope he continues to do that.
I
That
do
was
too.
sweet. I
Part of
also
the
liked
team.
him kind of calling out Coulson and just being like, so why do you keep trying to do my job?
Right.
Yeah, it's like he's almost challenging him to
He
be
is.
like, dude, if you want this job, like, you know, we can talk about this.
Right.
He's like, I'm not necessarily enjoying this job. It seems almost like I think now that he's in the suit, I think we might be dealing with him being more like, hey,
A little more
I
him.
want to be more active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
as
think that's
opposed,
going to be his arc.
yeah, as opposed to just pulling things. And then I think Coulson might have to, you know, step back
Quick.
up. Which honestly, he was the best at it.
Yeah.
Apparently, he wants Daisy to do it.
That was weird.
But not like in the
wouldn't trust-
comics.
Terrible
I wouldn't
idea.
trust Daisy to do that. Daisy
No.
barely knows her own mind without,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm sorry. I like her just fine, but I would not put her in charge of anything.
Yeah, they both
I'm
reacted
sorry.
to death in two ways. Coulson reacted by going, I should lead this team to victory, and Daisy reacted by
I'm going to go be
running away
Emo.
and listening to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd like to see that. I want to see what Inhuman is coming out of that shell.
Yeah.
that Simmons finds.
Any guesses? Because I don't know.
Do you think they hold that to the third chapter?
Probably.
Like they basically deal with the because I don't think this LMD is going to
It'd be a
go
good
on
reveal.
that long. Probably like a 4 or 5 episode run,
Yeah.
and then they switch over to whatever's inside that Inhuman. I mean,
Which
that
I
Inhuman
imagine
shell.
will be a big
Yeah.
part of the show.
Right. I'm imagining it's got to be one of the big boys, like
not-
Black Bolt. Like
He
it has to
talked
be.
already.
Yeah, he already talked,
That's
so.
true.
Now, if he had said, like, Simmons come back...
I thought about that
true.
too, and I was
That's
like, nah,
true.
he spoke.
That would have been rad.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Because if his power was that, and he was like, Simmons come back, but then it blew everything else away because of
Yeah.
it, and he was like, oh.
I mean, do you think he could be part of the royal family, or do you
I'm
think
sure he'll be
like?
part of this version of the royal
Yeah.
family.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe not somebody we know from the comics.
I was
but-
also, because it cracked from the back first, and I was like, oh, there's gonna be red hair.
Oh.
Medusa.
Medusa.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know the Inhumans
Now's a
that
dude.
well.
Right.
I know them. A little
Black
bit.
Bolt, Medusa.
I know the
the
mains.
crazy guy whose name is like Crazy something.
Crazy
Yeah.
Eddie.
The big, the dog. There's the big dog. That they
Yeah.
have. Yeah, I don't know who it could be. It'll be curious to see where that is and how that plays out.
Yeah.
Because we still have the Senator around, even though they're like, she has nothing to hold against us now because Ghost Rider's gone and Daisy's back.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited that we kind of have like a whole new, like it's almost like a new
Like
season
a new
coming
season.
up.
And I
like,
love, because I think that's the issue with shows that are 24 episodes. Like, you almost
Yeah.
have to break them down so that you tell a finite story and
Yeah.
you're not having so many filler episodes. Like
Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
And just
Right.
end up with a bunch of those until you
Right.
get back to the main story, which
Yeah.
Flash.
Exactly.
is Flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a smart thing to do, and I like that they're experimenting with this mini-series idea. It kind of gives them a chance to spin out, like,
Yeah,
Like,
it should be
you can
interesting.
give
Have
a-
they done?
very easily be, I don't know,
Have they done anything like this before?
most wanted.
No,
The-
they haven't. You're
No.
basically giving a smaller character that people care about a little time to shine so that
Yeah.
we can figure out a little bit more about them. Because, I mean, Yo-Yo's popped in and out, but it feels like for the rest of the
Yeah.
season,
I
she's
love
going to
her
be a part
powers.
of the show. Or her
Like
powers
I
are
like
fantastic.
watching her powers. It's
Yeah.
very Quicksilver.
It is. It is. The one thing that was weird, Robbie's brother never got brought back up, and like with
Nope.
him just disappearing, you think someone would be like,
They were like, we're going to go bring in the
"So,
car.
never mind."
Yeah.
That's definitely not the last time we see Ghost Rider, though, because he made a deal with that demon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
No,
was
he's
like, we're
he's
going to kill Eli, and then I'll just kill whoever you want me to.
Right.
Yeah. So
well,
he's
then,
gonna be definite Ghost
well,
Rider.
then we
next
have the
time
whole
see
thing
him.
where between Quake and Coulson, when Quake's like, will we ever see him again? He's like, well, the last Ghost Rider came back, and she's like, wait, what? And he's like, don't. It's just, it's just too much. Yeah.
So wait, but that implies that Coulson knew
Knew.
about this.
That's the thing, but he seems so surprised about
And he
the
was so
powers. that,
anti-magic too,
True.
which I mean, then again, he's always kind of equated it to, oh, it's just another type of Inhuman. It's like,
Right.
well,
yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's like on a file somewhere.
so maybe he knew about Johnny Blaze. He just didn't understand where the
And he
because they probably
had
don't
never
have much on
He
him.
probably had never seen
him
it
in person.
himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something they need to dig into because that's a
Yeah.
big.
What would you do if we actually got Johnny Blaze?
I'd be real excited.
I would be nuts. That would be great.
That would be a fun little miniseries.
I
to
feel
have.
like they're going to probably give Johnny or Robbie their own.
Because I
their
really
own
like
thing.
Robbie, but I wouldn't mind both.
Robbie was really good. That's I
Robbie
mean,
was really
he didn't
good.
really do any action in this, but that
Well, he's
just
an expensive.
he is.
Yeah.
And
But
they
he
already
looks
spending a lot of
so
good.
It's so good, but they were already spending a lot on the whole yo-yo effects too. So
Yeah,
they're
that
probably
was
like,
good
we
too.
can't do too much. But I just like,
that's good,
I
though.
like
Focus on one
this
thing.
episode because it was a lot of emotional stuff between he and his uncle, and
Yeah.
he did really
Yeah.
well with that stuff.
Yeah, you really got to see his acting chops
Yeah.
come in, especially considering that he had a stick of carbon through his chest.
Yeah.
Correct.
Acting while hurt.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
Now you got two things going on.
Also, did anybody else kind of notice the Ghost Rider made the choice to stay? Mm-hmm. Like Ghost Rider was in control,
Right.
And I think he was the one who was like, "We're gonna go away."
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because when he was with Mac, he was like, "I'm not going back to that."
Well, that was
not
his
sense.
last
It
part
seems
of
like
his
they-
vengeance tour. So, like,
Yeah.
if he kept him around, there really is nothing else for him to fight for in that dimension.
I think they
Yeah.
have a better understanding now, the two of them. Like, I don't think that Robbie ever actually took the time to talk or had
Yeah.
maybe even the opportunity to have an actual
learn what
talk
is- right.
with the demon inside him. And
Yeah.
now that they've actually had kind of like a, hey, powwow,
yeah,
maybe they kind of understand where each other's coming from a little
Right.
bit more and they can work together better.
Yeah.
So that might be a thing. But,
right.
he's not so much fighting anymore like, oh, this thing inside me is terrible. It's like,
Right.
nope, it's a thing. We're doing this. Like,
And I think it helps that Mac kind of could also be on his side now. He's like, I see what you're going through.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, that was good for Mac too because he's kind of had an arc of
He
being
needed his
very
eyes open.
rigid,
Yeah.
and almost narrow-minded in
Right.
his scope, and I think now he's kind of open to everything.
Right.
And then you have Fitz and Simmons.
Yeah.
they're so cute. I love
They are.
know.
It seems, I mean, it's kind of an issue when anytime you're dating someone and you work with them, they're always going to have little squabbles here and there, but I think they're kind of over, the lying thing is now out. Now it's just like, all right,
Right.
look, we're a relationship. Let's stop letting crap get in our way.
Yeah.
We do live for a intelligence agency
Yeah.
designed around secrets.
Yeah. This is going to happen. I mean, it seems like they kind of both understand that, though. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, it feels like Fitz is having a little bit more of a problem than Simmons, because
Yes.
Fitz
Yeah.
is worried about how Simmons is going to be, and Simmons is like, dude, I
was on another planet.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
good.
deep.
I'm
Like, I'm
good.
deep into this whole freaking thing.
Right.
Anything you got that you're bringing to the table, I understand.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. It may suck, but I'm here.
Right.
So I think Fitz just needs to understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, he is the one who was like, this isn't magic, it's science.
Yeah.
But then he did figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a petty thief.
Mind blown.
So does that mean, Doctor Strange touched on that they're borrowing energy from, like, the multiverse.
Right.
But Doctor Strange isn't stealing matter from worlds.
It's more like manipulating, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
yeah, because Eli was straight just like yanking. Like,
Yeah.
Stuff, and it was creating the quakes,
Right.
which means that it was affecting the core of
Flashpoint.
So do you think that's going to have any like long, like, I mean, if they were creating quakes, does that mean that he was bringing forth stuff like that's
waking
going to
things
stay?
up,
Did
right.
it go back?
That's true.
Or did it? I mean,
I think it probably... it could be like a Phantom Menace style thing where they sent him back and it all went with him.
maybe,
Right.
but I don't know. I think it would be more interesting if the stuff
Like,
had
the
stayed,
remnants
and
will
now they
stay.
have to like, oh, this carbon stuff from this
Right.
other universe shouldn't be here because it's weird and not actually part of our periodic table or
Yeah.
something, like, or like it's slightly off of it or something like that. I think it'd
Yeah.
be interesting, but
We'll have to find out in January.
It's a long time.
It is. They pretty left you on a weird stick too, because there isn't a lot of like cliffhanger. They ended their story.
Right. The story ended
Yeah.
and just started a new one, but we're not going to start this until January.
Right,
yeah,
and that's
so we don't
where,
really
like,
know where it's gonna go.
Right.
Yeah, you can't really speculate that
Yeah.
much because you're just sort of like, all right.
Right.
The last time they did a finale and then ended, we were all speculating that it was more Inhumans, and then they went, nope, Ghost Rider.
Here's right.
So the only thing we know now is LMDs, but for all we know, that means they're gonna go LMDs, but Brother Voodoo's
Yeah.
here.
Right. It's crazy.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have Daredevil show up.
Oh,
Because I know John Berthnall mentioned he was like, I'm gonna maybe be on Agents of
He
S.H.I.E.L.D.
did mention that once. Yeah.
I don't believe him.
No, especially now that this is. We're
they
basically
get random
LA.
people in there, you never know.
They spent so much time in Los Angeles too this season, so I'm not
Right.
sure if
They did get Lady Sif,
It's true.
so
Yeah, and Fury showed
I think
up.
I said
once or
Sam's
twice.
been there a couple times. Yeah.
it could
He's
happen.
also not as expensive of a character to make.
No.
Yeah.
Just give him a gun.
And I feel like Sam doesn't say no to anyone. He's like, sweet, snakes on the plane. I'm doing this. I'll just show up here
Oh,
for
yeah.
a day.
Yeah,
Like,
he
Wouldn't
just
you?
loves it.
yeah, he's just having fun.
Dude, I would do the same
I
thing.
think
if
it's really angry that he doesn't have an Oscar.
Really?
Oh, well,
It's,
I
it's
mean,
apparently a big thing for
a
him.
lot of people that are in the family, they get very upset that they don't get
What
Oscars.
about my Oscar?
It's
Because
a,
you made snakes on a plane.
that's
Sold to
not
Marvel.
necessarily true. Anthony Hopkins gets all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but
He's done
he
some
got
not
his
so
Oscar
stellar,
first.
fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't turn down work just because of the
I don't
Oscar.
either. I'm just
Such
saying
an
that if you're
elusive
going to
thing.
be
I don't know.
like, give me a reward, and then someone's like, hey, I've got 2 scripts. One of them is Oscar bait, and the other one you're on a plane fighting snakes.
Ooh.
I don't think he had that choice, and I'm sure he would have not done the snakes on. Actually,
Give me that
I'm pretty
snakes.
sure he would have done both.
He
He
probably
would have been
would've.
like, "Hey, push snakes on a plane a month, and I will totally do it because I got to do this Oscar bait." Like,
Yeah.
he'd figure it
We'll
out.
see.
He's Sam Jackson.
All right. Any other thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, we get a nice little bow. I'm kind of happy to see where we go
Yeah.
from there, though.
Yeah, I'm excited for when it
Such a
starts back up.
good First half of the season.
I'm really glad that
I
I've
need
been.
people to start watching because these ratings are low and they're starting
That
to
is
scare
starting
me a
to
little
touch
Is
bit.
it
on.
really?
It's getting
Yeah.
This is
close
the
to-
best season.
They're getting close to cancellation numbers.
No.
The one thing that I think will save them is that they're really close to 100 episodes, and that's the only way they'll get into syndication. So Disney may even push them to like one smaller, truncated season just to kind of bump
Get
up
there.
to 100 when
Yeah,
it's
I
all
know you
over.
mentioned
Which
that
would also
before.
be fine. You could do a 10-episode
Yeah.
show and a 10-episode Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show and call it
Just
a
call it a day.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I was like, this season's been so good that
I
like,
think
for
it's
this
because
to
of last season, like everybody kind of fell off and they didn't want to get back into it. And like I keep
Yeah.
trying to tell
also-
people,
I
I'm
also
like,
think the
just
time-
pick up on this season.
that time
it's so good.
That time switch is a hard one. Like when
See, I don't
9 was
watch.
the
I always
Yeah.
watch it on like
9 was a-
Hulu
9
or
was a-
whatever. I watch it when I want to. I'm
yeah,
like,
9 was the
whatever.
perfect time for them. Going to 10, you're going against a lot of primetime stuff
Yeah.
that like it's more adult oriented.
Seems so weird that the primetime thing is still a
Still
thing
there.
It's still a
that
thing.
people still watch. I mean, I know my mother does it, but she's
It's how CBS continues to do what they do.
Right? All right. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. you should leave us some comments on our YouTube channel where you're watching us right now. But if you want to watch instead of listen, you can go to youtube.com/superheroprimetime and get in on all that fun.
Yes.
Hit the subscribe button on iTunes or on that one. Leave us a review on iTunes. Give us some stars. Those are nice. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/superheroprimetime, on Twitter at SHPT Podcast. You can listen to our other 2 shows, Hollywood Already Did It and Bits to Frames. If you like movies and video games, they're for you. They're great shows. I'm on Twitter at AsAlwaysBlake. April's at April Wallene. Terrence is at Terrence Tatum. We will see you in about 2 days when the next episode comes up. Later.
Hasta.